Today I'm reading from Aion, Researches into the Phenomenology of the Self by Dr. Syzygy Jung. Chapter 3. This is quite a long chapter, so I'm dividing it into 5 parts. It's called the Syzygy, Anima and Animus. Syzygy is spelled S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y. Chapter 20. What then is this projection-making factor? The East calls it the spinning woman. Footnote 1. Roussel calls the spinning woman the animal soul. There is a saying that runs, the spinner sets in motion. I have defined the anima as a personification of the unconscious. Maya, who creates illusion by her dancing. Had we not long since known it from the symbolism of dreams, this hint from the Orient would put us on the right track. The enveloping, embracing, and devouring element points unmistakably to the mother. Footnote, here and in what follows, the word mother is not meant in the literal sense, but as a symbol of everything that functions as a mother. That is, to the son's relation to the real mother, to her imago, and to the woman who is to become a mother for him. His Eros is passive like a child's. He hopes to be caught, sucked in, enveloped, and devoured. He seeks, as it were, the protecting, nourishing, charmed circle of the mother, the condition of the infant released from every care, in which the outside world bends over him and even forces happiness upon him. No wonder the real world vanishes from sight. Paragraph 21. If this situation is dramatized, as the unconscious usually dramatizes it, then there appears before you on the psychological stage a man living regressively, seeking his childhood and his mother, fleeing from a cold, cruel world which denies him understanding. Often a mother appears beside him, who apparently shows not the slightest concern that her little son should become a man, but who, with tireless and self-immolating effort, neglects nothing that might hinder him from growing up and marrying. You behold the secret conspiracy between mother and son, and how each helps the other to betray life. Paragraph 22. Where does the guilt lie? With the mother or with the son? Probably with both. The unsatisfied longing of the son for life in the world ought to be taken seriously. There is in him a desire to touch reality, to embrace the earth and fructify the field of the world. But he makes no more than a series of fitful starts, for his initiative, as well as his staying power, are crippled by the secret memory that the world and happiness might be had as a gift from the mother. The fragment of the world which he, like every man, must encounter again and again is never quite the right one, since it does not fall into his lap, does not meet him halfway, but remains resistant, has to be conquered, and submits only to force. It makes demands on the masculinity of a man, on his ardor, above all on his courage and resolution when it comes to throwing his whole being into the scales. For this he would need a faithless Eros, one capable of forgetting his mother and undergoing the pain of relinquishing the first love of his life. The mother, foreseeing this danger, has carefully inculcated in him the virtues of faithfulness, devotion, loyalty, so as to protect him from the moral disruption, which is the risk of every life adventure. He has learnt these lessons only too well and remains true to his mother. This naturally causes her the deepest anxiety when, to her greater glory, she turns out to be a homosexual, for example, and at the same time affords her an unconscious satisfaction that is positively mythological. For in the relationship now reigning between them, there is consummated the immemorial and most sacred archetype of the marriage of mother and son. What, after all, has commonplace reality to offer with its registry offices, pay envelopes, and monthly rent that could outweigh the mystic awe of the Eros Gamos, or the star-crowned woman whom the dragon pursues, or the pious obscurities veiling the marriage of the Lamb? Paragraph 23. This myth, better than any other, illustrates the nature of the collective unconscious. At this level, the mother is both old and young, Demeter and Persephone, and the son is spouse and sleeping suckling rolled into one. The imperfections of real life, with its laborious adaptations and manifold disappointments, naturally cannot compete with such a state of indescribable fulfillment. Paragraph 24. In the case of the son, the projection-making factor is identical with the mother imago, and this is consequently taken to be the real mother. The projection can only be dissolved when the son seeks that in the realm of his psyche there is an imago not only of the mother but of the daughter, the sister, the beloved, the heavenly goddess, and the chthonic bembo. Every mother and every beloved is forced to become the carrier and embodiment of this omnipresent and ageless image, which corresponds to the deepest reality in a man. It belongs to him, his perilous image of woman. She stands for the loyalty which, in the interests of life, he must sometimes forgo. She is the much-needed compensation for the risks, struggles, sacrifices that all end in disappointment. She is the solace for all of the bitterness of life. And at the same time, she is the great illusionist, the seductress, who draws him into life with her Maya, and not only into life's reasonable and useful aspects, but into its frightful paradoxes and ambivalences where good and evil, success and ruin, hope and despair counterbalance one another. Because she is his greatest danger, she demands from a man his greatest, and if he has it in him, she will receive it. Paragraph 25. This image is my lady's soul, as Spittler called her. I have suggested instead the term anima, as indicating something specific, for which the expression soul is too general and too vague. The empirical reality summed up under the concept of the anima forms an extremely dramatic content of the unconscious. It is possible to describe this content in rational, scientific language, but in this way one entirely fails to express its living character. Therefore, in describing the living processes of the psyche, I deliberately and consciously give preference to a dramatic, mythological way of thinking and speaking, because this is not only more expressive, but also more exact than an abstract scientific terminology, which is wont to toy with the notion that its theoretic formulations may one fine day be resolved into algebraic equations.